Hey, what's up everybody? It's your girl OG Rhianna, and thanks for coming back and checking out a video of mine. I'm here to discuss and give a little story time on how I'm going back to school for my associate degree to become an RN after being an LVN for 20 years. I'm here to tell my story, give a little insight on how I'm going back to school, share my journey, and inspire anybody who thinks it's too late or is considering going back to school themselves. If I can do it, you could do it too. So I started my LVN journey back in 2003 after I graduated high school. I'm showing my age, guys, but you know, this is my story, so we're gonna keep it all the way 100. So I started my LVN program. I had already had my first son when I was 17. So I knew I needed to do something so that I could make some money since I had a mouth to feed. So I started the LVN program and I finished that in about 15 months, somewhere in the beginning of 2005. Throughout that program, I became pregnant with my second son, who was born actually a few months before I graduated the program. Because of my pregnancy, made it a little difficult for attendance. Sometimes I was late, things of that nature. And because of that, I had to retake one of the courses during that program. So I had a couple of stumbles there, but nevertheless graduated and got the LVN. Since then, I've worked in many places, nursing homes. I've taught CNAs, hospice, agency work, and currently working in a surgery center right now, doing all the things in a surgery center, even scrubbing for the doctor I work for. The school that I went to started to offer a bridge over program. This is somewhere in 2011, 2012. So I hear about this, I inquire about it, and they're more than happy to accept me and allow me into the program at this point. So in 2012, I was offered into the program, but due to circumstances, and at this point I had 3 children, 3 sons, I was not able to do that program at that time, so I opted out. So in 2014, I go back to try to get back into the bridge program. And at this point, they review my stuff, my application, and they basically let me know that I'm not going to be able to enter into the program at this point because they have now a minimum GPA that they want you to have from the previous program in order to enter into the associate degree bridge over program. And my GPA was not at that minimum. And like I spoke about before, it had to do with my attendance, not really my academics, but they was not trying to hear that. So they didn't want to accept me back. So I said okay and just kept it moving. I tried back every couple years to see if that rule was still in effect, and it was. And in 2024, which was a very hard year for me, I decided to try again, right? I'm working at the surgery center. My job is encouraging me to become an RN. I'm basically working as an RN, as circulating and doing certain things at my job, but I'm not getting paid to be an RN. And I also felt that the school was, you know, kind of controlling how much money I could make in the field, and I thought that was unfair. So, you know, in 2024, I decided to look into these options again, discussing it with my family. At this point, my kids are pretty grown. Me and my 17-year-old son, who is no longer here with me, he passed away also last year. He encouraged me to get my RN, and so I know he's up there clearing my path and making a lot of this shit happen. So shout out to my son Bryson. We love you and we miss you, baby boy. And that's another story. I can discuss that in another video if you guys are interested. You can leave a comment below if you guys are interested in hearing my story about my son. So I reached back out to the school and I tried for the however many time at this point to try to get back into this program. And again, they hit me with the no because of the GPA, and they're not trying to hear nothing, no context to it. They're like just stonewalling me, which really kind of pissed me off. So at this point, like I say, I went through all this shit with my son, and it had been a really hard year. So this is all happening like now in 2025, the beginning of the year, me trying to get back into the program. I finally look into how can I go above the local office of the school here, and I look into like doing a grievance. And so I go on the website and I find where I can send a email to the higher ups. So that's what I do. And I sent an email and I explain my story and how I've been at LVN 20 years, and just to give a little backstory about my situation and how I was ready to pursue my education with them. And let me add in a little side note. So my credits from this particular school are non-transferable. I actually tried to get into a couple of other nursing schools throughout time, even as recent as before being accepted into this program again, another school, and they would not accept my credits because of the way that the school that I'm going to be going to, it's a kind of an accelerator program. It goes by quarters, so I'm not able to transfer those credits to schools that do it by regular semester like colleges. So they would not, almost all schools will not accept my credits from where I go to. So I pretty much have my hands tied behind my back. So they were my first and only choice. So that's why I had tried so hard to get back in with them. So anyway, I sent the grievance email explaining everything to a higher up, whoever it was going to go to, I didn't even know. So I do end up receiving an email maybe a week later from the regional program director, Ms. Bass, and she reaches out and is ready to schedule a meeting. Says, yes, let's talk about it. So we schedule a meeting, and I'm just so grateful for that because for so long they wouldn't even take a meeting. So shout out to Ms. Bass in the regional office for taking that. So we set up a meeting and talk, and in that meeting she was very nice and understanding, let me speak, let me give my backstory, and agreed that some of the practices from the school all those years ago really didn't apply to the current situation, and that they should give me an opportunity because there is such a nursing shortage. And it was a little unfair at this point, in my opinion, and I guess she felt similar. So she agreed to, if I was willing to take the TEAS test, which almost all nursing schools require you to take the TEAS and pass the TEAS test with a minimal number that most schools would decide on their own. If I could pass that I would be given access back into the program. And I thought that was a great compromise. So, because I think the school I'm going to is not making people take the TEAS test necessarily, if you're going to be going there, but in my particular situation, that was going to be what they were going to require. So I was glad that we were able to get somewhere. I'm glad that it wasn't just a no anymore. So I was down to take that TEAS test, and that's exactly what I did. So I scheduled the TEAS test about a month later, so I had time to study and look over stuff because, like I told you guys, I have not been in school in 20 years, okay? So I need to brush up on some stuff and, get my shit together. So I studied, I did everything I need to do, looking through just different things on the internet, ChatGPT, all types of ways to study for this test. Over the years, I've taken a few TEAS tests, of course. When I initially went to nursing school, again in 2012, when I was going to go back to nursing school, and here I was taking it again in 2025. So I was nervous, but I knew this was a make or break situation, so I had to do my best, guys. Okay, so the day of the TEAS test comes, and boy, I am nervous, okay? But I get there. I had studied, like I said, I felt pretty confident, and I get in there and it takes me a few hours. I'm not really sure how long it took me to take the test. I did it straight through, no breaks, and let me tell you, when I was done, I was pretty nervous because half of that shit I was reading, I was like, what are you talking about? I had studied, but it was difficult, harder than I thought. So I was very nervous, guys. But I found out I think I took the test on a Friday. So that maybe Monday or Tuesday, I received that I passed the test. Shout out to your girl. Even though 20 years had gone by, baby, this brain was still doing what it needed to do. Okay, clock that. So I did pass the TEAS test. Shout out to me. And like I say, always shout out to my guardian angel, my son. Okay. So pass the TEAS test. What's up? So they had no choice now but to take your girl back. So I needed to get this RN license ASAP. Okay. So the ADM program at the school is 18-month program, 6 quarters, 3 months each. So I was ready to do that shit now after I passed that TEAS test, proved them wrong. Because I low-key thought that they thought I wasn't going to be able to do it, but your girl did her thing, okay? So now I'm in there like swimwear, and they ain't got no reason to deny your girl. So now I'm officially on the road to becoming an RN student and getting my career boost and finally becoming the RN I was always meant to be. If you're an LVN, it's just natural to want to be an RN at some point if that's what you desire to do. So I was glad now we have the ball rolling on enrollment, took care of everything I needed to take care of, talked to the financial aid people, and we got that thing going. So now I'm going to be starting school in 6 weeks, January of 2026. I'll be getting my associate degree in nursing. It's an 18-month program. It's 6 quarters, 3 months apiece. So I'll be graduating in summer of 2027, along with my son who goes to A&M. He will be graduating in 2027 as well. And my oldest son is also going to be starting his ADM program at a different school sometime soon after he finishes prereq. So he got the nursing bug from his mama. So shout out to my 2 sons who don't live at home anymore, so empty nester. And like I said before, shout out to my angel son who's looking down on me and guiding my path every way. That's another story. If you guys are interested, leave a comment and we can I can possibly discuss or talk about that situation. But I am now in a time of my life where I'm not focused on small children anymore. It's just me and my dog Diamond, who I've introduced in another video, who is going into heat soon. So I'm gonna keep you guys posted on that. Make sure you follow that journey as well. But I'm in a time of my life where I'm more able to focus on school and, you know, take care of getting my education. When I was younger, 20 years ago, I was raising small children and, you know, just had a lot on my plate. And now the time has come where I'm able to focus more on that. And I'm ready for this journey. So if you guys are interested in the journey, if you're becoming an RN, if you're in nursing school, if you're considering it, if you're thinking about going back to school after 20 years like me, don't think you can't do it, because if I can do it, you can too. And I'm here to inspire, I'm here to give insight, and I'm here for you if it's something that is something you're thinking about. So shout out to you if you're thinking about it. Shout out to me for doing what I need to do to get here, and keep following, and thank you for watching. See you in the next video.